Hi everybody, so who is ready for spring and summer? I know I am. I absolutely love when it starts getting just a slight bit warmer. Not where you're dying of like heat stroke in the middle of the summer, but where it just has a little bit of a breeze, but it's still very warm and it's nice to be outside. So I have this very light, very fun, just really springtime look. Now it may not look like it right away when you first see it, but when you come up really close, you can see that it has a bunch of light pinks and it just really pops in the spring, and it's not heavy makeup, so you really don't have to worry about feeling like your makeup is falling and like melting off throughout the day. I did do a nice light pink cheek, but if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. I really do recommend doing something lighter with the skin, but I personally just wanted a little bit more coverage today since I've been trying out new foundations. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to work on the bottom lash line and my outer wing first. Now I'm using the Inglot Gel Liner in the number 79. I'm taking this onto a Sonia Kashuk small brush. I'm not going to prime my eye just yet. And I'm just picking this up just a little bit. You really don't need a lot because I ended up using too much on the other eye and having to blend it out. So I'm just going to run this first when you have the most amount of product on the lower edge of your eye. And then you're just going to slowly work it in and up, going along the natural like lower lash line. Like if it was continuing, you do just want to keep going straight up and blending this in. Now you don't have to worry too much because you just are going to be doing enough just to give it a base. As you can see, you can't even really tell just yet. Sorry if you can hear some noises in the background. My family's actually watching the Filipino channel, so you may be hearing some music since they're watching soap operas right now. But I'm going to get started just by setting this shadow. Now the one that I'm going to use is from the Jenny Rivera 36 color and blush palette, and I'm using this one because I like the red in this palette. I think that it works better than using a very bright neon red. So I'm going to be taking this deeper, just a deeper blood red. You can use any one you want. You can even mix a bit of like a dark brown with a red and you'll get the same effect. And I'm just going to set the lower lash line, running all the way into the inner corner, leaving just your tear duct open. And then I'm going to pick up a bit more and start applying this right here. Mainly focus it right at the edge and then start blending in. And we are going to be applying other colors, so you don't have to worry if it doesn't blend exactly right the first time. And I'm going to deepen this up with the color right next to it, which is just a dark plummy purple. And just take a very small amount and again just go back in and start deepening this up. Now what I'm going to do, once I have that pretty much blended the way I want it, I'm going to go into my Wet n Wild Idolized Cream Shadow Pencil, and I'm going to run this right on my lid. Now, I don't really want to use a primer today since these shadows are super light, and I feel like even if it creased, you wouldn't even know because these shadows really don't go up past the crease at all. So you could just use this and not have to worry about it. If you have super oily lids, you may still want to use one just since we're using the cream base, but you don't have to since again, it's just staying focused on the lid area. And then when you get to right here by the red, you just want to tap. And I'm going to go into some pinks and just like shimmery pinks on the inner lid. I'm going to first take this pink and this corally color right here. I'm going to take them onto another small Sonia Kashuk brush, mix them together, and then apply it right next to that red, just going in that same angle. Now you will notice that the pink and the red don't necessarily blend super well since the pink is so light. So what I'm going to do is take the pinks that I have and I'm just going to tap them really lightly into the red. Just keep going back and forth till I have a very slow blend. And then you can apply this right in between and it will help it just transition a little bit better. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on just the lid area. As you can see, it really is just a light shimmery color just to open up the eyes and make them pop. I'm going to be taking this color right here, but before I do that, I do want to go in and just dampen my brush. So I'm going to spray it with some water. You want to hold it pretty far away from each other just because you don't want it to be soaking wet. You just want a light spritz. You can tap off the brush onto your hand if you feel like you got too much water. Go into that product and then just tap this onto your lid. I'm taking a push liner brush and a matte black shadow, and I'm just going to run this right along the lash line. Now the reason I'm doing this is because, as you can hopefully see before, it didn't have enough definition, so the light colors and the pastel reds can make you look sick, so you do want to have a bit of definition to your eye so that you don't look very sickly since you're using a lot of warm pinks and reds. And lastly, for the eyeshadow, I'm going to go into a foundation color. Now this is a powder foundation that's similar to my skin tone, and I'm just going to run this in the crease to blend out any harsh lines. Now what you can also do is, if you want, go in with that brush that you picked the red up on and just start bringing it out even further, and then go back in with the blending brush. And what this will do is will help fade it out, so you can see that it does fade out pretty nicely when you do it this way. And then now that I have that, I'm pretty much done with the shadows. I will go ahead and apply some mascara, but before I do that, I do want to go ahead and apply some white eyeliner. Now the brush that I'm going to be using for this is actually going to be a pencil. Now the reason I'm using a pencil is I just find it's easier to get into the waterline when using a pencil, but you can use a small brush if you want, if you find this a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do, I'm taking again the Inglot number 76, and I'm just going to run this in my waterline. And I'm using this one because this one's waterproof. And then I'm going to start working the product in and filling in that gap that we left between the tear duct and the red color. And just run this right here up above in our tear duct. Now what you will find is that it's very intense and it's not as blended as you would want it to be. So I'm going to go into a small pixel point liner brush by Real Techniques, and I'm just going to lightly buff this out. And now once I have this pretty much blended out, just so that it's a little bit smoother, I'm going to go into a light shimmery white. You can use any one you want. I'm just taking the one that's in that palette onto the same brush and just apply it right on top. And you're done with the eyes. I'm just going to apply some mascara and I'll be right back. Now that I have that placed, I'm going to go in and apply my cheek color. Now I did contour my cheeks a little bit already, but I'm going to go into a blush. This is the 40 Soft Plum Maybelline Dream Smooth Mousse blush, and I'm just going to pick this up onto a flat brush. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm actually going to start at the back of my cheek. And you want to just pat this down. You don't want to rub, especially if you already powdered your skin, because this will help just lock in the color and not create just that patchiness. And then once you have that pretty much blended out, that's all I'm doing for the cheeks. Okay, so I just want to quickly mention what I used on my lips. I used the e.l.f. Super Glossy Lip Shine in the shade Watermelon. I was wearing Candy Yum Yum by MAC earlier today, so when I was trying to take all of that lipstick off, I really couldn't get it completely off, so I did have a little bit of pink stain on my lips. So the lip gloss isn't as intense as what you see here, but it is still pretty intense, and it does give you a nice color. So that's pretty much it for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will have a list of all my social network usernames as well as my email below. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget, if you have any comments, you can leave them in the bottom bar below or email me. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, everybody.